Well, hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Tonight, we are talking about the Lindsay Clancy versus Travis DECKER. If Travis DECKER was a woman, would that change things? There's a lot of different opinions on this, and we're going to talk it all out. There's going to be probably some big reactions to this that we're going to talk about tonight. Gather around. We're going to take calls on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace. Smile through pain with a painted face.
Sing it if you know it.
They called me too loud, too much, too strong. But honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my clothes, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Let's go, mother chickens.
Hold up, lights on, chat in the room, another late night and another headline blooming. Coffee gone cold, but the story got heat, and one little detail keep tapping my screen. Coming in clutch, when the timeline bends, we don't just scroll, we connect loose ends. Somebody said nah, that's probably enough, but the chat said Justin, we're coming in clutch. Run that back, don't rush that part, something fell wrong from the very first start. Different day, same shaky excuse, and the math ain't mathin' when we check the proof. I'm not here to play detective for fame, I'm here when the story starts changing names. One clip, one call, one post too much, and the whole room knows we're coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, yeah, the facts stay loud, truth don't hide when we bring the crowd. Screens lit up and the chat don't sleep, we dig real deep where the stories get steep. Pearls in the chat, lights in the back, somebody better explain why the story went flat. You can dodge one question, maybe dodge two, but the internet clock what you said don't cue. Wait, say that again, you said it was there, then it wasn't back then. You said you forgot, but the record got saved. Now the chat's wide awake and the room just changed.
Coming in clutch when it all gets strange, when the facts get buried and the tone starts change. We don't need drama, the truth does enough, that's why they pull up, we're coming in clutch.
Late night crew, yeah, we built this thing. One live stream turned to a whole damn ring. Members in green miles holding it down, whole chat moving like a small town crowd. No fake hype, no lazy spin, just one more clue when we're back again. If if it don't sit right, we don't let it slide. We put the detail right up on live.
Coming in clutch, say it one more time. Whole room locked on the very next line. From the first red flag to the final touch, you know where to be, we're coming in clutch.
When the screen fades out and the night gets still, somebody somewhere knows truth comes real. We'll be right here when the next facts drop. Coming in clutch and we don't just stop.
Well, hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so very much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is August 29th, 2026. It is currently 9:47 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. I'm in a different location, Miss Shari. Different location. How's everyone doing tonight? We are talking about the Travis Decker and Nancy. I say Nancy Clancy every single time. Lindsay Clancy case, and I've got some feelings about it. We covered the Clancy case in the beginning. I've watched most of the trial, and I think that there is a double standard. I really do, and I want to hear from you guys what you think on that. Okay, so tonight we are going to be going over. You're in my closet, aren't you? Baby, I haven't been in the closet in 30 some years. Okay, I came out swinging. No closet for me, boo-boo. Doors open. No, I didn't, Susan. No, I didn't. So yeah, probably be back in my studio tomorrow. We'll see. So yeah. So we're going to be talking about this. We're going to take some calls. I know some of you are pretty fired up over this case. And listen, it is absolutely okay to disagree with me. We don't need everyone to agree with me. If you disagree with me, voice it. You are welcome to do that here. So let me start out by saying a couple different things. And like I said, we're talking about Lindsay Clancy versus Travis Decker, and why it has the public reaction been so different. And is it based upon purely gender? Would the public be showing that the same compassion to Travis Decker as they did Lindsay Clancy? Now, Lindsay's defense, they argue that she suffered from mental illness, including postpartum psychosis, when she unalived her 3 children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan. Prosecutors argued that she understood what she was doing and that she should be held criminally accountable. There's people at the courthouse supporting her, focusing on her mental health and all that. But really, what about Travis Decker? Authorities accused Travis Decker, obviously, in the deaths of his 3 daughters, Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia. Now, his ex-wife, she spoke largely about his mental health as well. His ex-wife, an attorney, said he struggled with PTSD, severe sleep problems, inadequate access to mental health resources. So why is it so different? So that's what we're kind of covering tonight. Mother versus father. They both unalived 3 children each. Okay. So, yeah, I do apologize. I don't know if anybody got any notifications tonight, but or here. Guys, do me a favor before we get started. If you would be so kind, and please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you would share this live stream out, hit that share button, copy that link, drop it in any of your favorite social media. And if you would hype this video on YouTube. On YouTube, you get 3 hypes a week. And if you don't use it, your mother chicken lose it. And we don't want you to lose it there. So I want to play a little something here from Court TV about Lindsay Clancy, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, gonna go from there. Okay, here we go. Credit's gonna go to Court TV here. Let me sort here if I am doing it right. There we go. Okay, let me drop my banner here. Now, here we go. Court TV. Watch this, guys. I think Vinny did a great job talking about this. I've watched this trial gavel to gavel. What's your thoughts on it, Sarah? What's your thoughts on it? I never get a notification in your lives. I'm sorry too. And by the way, every single person is allowed in this chat. I don't care where you come from, who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as you love me. No, I don't. Wherever, everyone is welcome here. Everyone is allowed their opinion. So don't view someone differently by their opinion on a case, because you might not agree on this case, but you might agree on the next one. Okay. I've watched every second of this trial. This woman is full of it, in my opinion. Yeah, we're going to do some calls here in a little bit. We're going to do some calls. Here we go.
Immediately, the marital call, and then go upstairs to the second floor and either take handfuls or pills or crush them, however she did.
From her perspective, the prosecution perspective, what this timeline is and when exactly.
You know, from all of the evidence that you have, putting aside the experts, but all the evidence you have in terms of crime scene photos and videos and the witness testimony and all the medical records, you know.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate
how she killed them, where she killed them,
Thank you.
what time she killed them, and the order that she killed them in. Even without what she told the doctors about the order, that's something you can infer from the evidence. Because you know, in order to bring the kids to the basement and strangle each one of them, and then come upstairs and get a knife and have a phone call, and then go upstairs to the second floor and either take him.
Now, this is very important part of this, okay? Because listen to, you're going to really need to pay attention to the phone call and what floor she was on, Lindsay, what floor Lindsay was on, because her husband, the father of the victims, he was at a pharmacy while this was going on. He allegedly sent her, or she sent him to a pharmacy. Okay.
Pills or crush them, however she did it, take the pills, and then cut herself. And it's not just 3 cuts, it's the hesitation marks, and then the cuts themselves. And then you know she bled in a couple spots for a little while, because you heard from Sherry Crook how the pooling in front of the mirror is someone, basically the blood dropping down and someone there for a period of time, and then over closer to the window, the same thing. So
this is very interesting part here as well. It kind of reminds me in a sense of the Nancy Guthrie case, where you see outside of her porch where there's more blood in some spots. Well, when there's more blood in some spots, that means the person has stopped moving, right? Or the person someone is moving them and they've stopped moving them. So if I'm bleeding and I and moving my arm, blood's going to go kind of everywhere. But if I hold my arm somewhere in one spot, blood is going to stay on the floor, right? So that's important.
Bleeding in front of the mirror for a period of time, over by the window for a period of time, and then she goes out of the window.
I do too.
And by the time Patrick gets there, she's no longer bleeding. So for all of that to happen in that short amount of time while Patrick's gone, she had to have started killing the kids immediately after he left.
This is prosecutors. They are saying that, Patrick, the dad, the husband, ex-husband now to Lindsay Clancy, the prosecutors argued that she would have had to start unaliving these 3 children immediately.
Now, defense wants you to believe that it was after the phone call, that after the phone call, she heard the voice and killed the children. But there's a few things about that don't make sense. First is what she told Dr. Satoff.
Listen here.
That when she gets the call, she's at the fridge getting chicken nuggets out of the fridge to make dinner. You heard from Patrick. When he's leaving, Dawson is sitting on the couch eating chicken nuggets and green beans.
Okay. Now it could come down to chicken nuggets, this trial, right? Because Patrick, he said that one of the little boy was sitting on the couch with a bowl eating chicken nuggets when he left. Okay. Now this is very important. Did the chicken nuggets, was he eating the chicken nuggets or was he not? And that goes down to timing. I'm going to play that little part again right here.
First is what she told Dr. Satoff, that when she gets the call, she's at the fridge getting chicken nuggets out of the fridge to make dinner. You heard from Patrick. When he's leaving, Dawson is sitting on the couch eating chicken nuggets and green beans out of a bowl. There's the crime scene photo of 2 bowls on the couch. Yes, the pink one seems to have some vegetables in it, but there's the blue one there as well. And Patrick saw Dawson eating the chicken nuggets and green beans. So why would the defendant make that up? Why would she say she's doing that during the phone call? Because if she's already killed the kids because of a voice and being compelled and it being against her will and she's like a puppet, then she can't get a call and miss it and then call the person back and have a conversation and then hang up. A puppet can't do those things.
That's right.
Those are decisions and choices and actions that she's controlling. So she has to explain away the phone call because her behavior and her ability to have the phone call don't make sense.
That's right.
If she's being compelled by her voice.
Yes, if she's being compelled by this this audible hallucination to, she says, to unalive the kids and then unalive herself, well, that's one thing. However, if you, after you're done unaliving the kids or in the middle of unaliving the kids and your husband calls you and you act fine and are talking to him regularly and he doesn't know what the hell's going on, you have to have control of yourself to do that, right? If you, after you unalive these children and then your husband calls and you're like, yeah, pick up that or go get this, or, if they don't have that, get this at the store, that is a level of control in your mind. The saying goes, crazy people don't know they're crazy. And I'm not saying anyone is crazy here, but what I am saying is crazy people don't know they're crazy, and they don't know the difference in what is going on at the time. So there had to be, in my opinion, a level of control. If you disagree with me, sound it off. I want to hear everyone's side on this. I don't know. I just don't understand why she's getting all of this grace and Travis Decker, which I was the same way for him. You know, you did the crime, you do the time. It's just it.
This is an important point for prosecutors, right? In terms of the timeline, because the phone call happens. Patrick calls from CVS, and there's nothing out of the ordinary necessarily about the phone call. So if she's in the midst of being controlled by a voice, could she get that phone call? Well, she misses the phone call and then makes a return call. So she has to actually call Patrick back.
Bingo, right? So she misses the call from her husband while he's out, you know, at the pharmacy and whatever. She goes to her phone or picks up her phone, dials him back, and speaks to him. That is control. That is control, in my opinion. I do too, Leslie.
Could she do that if she was in the midst of the psychosis?
Mm-mm.
Big point. So that's why she's claiming, the prosecution's claiming, that the killing started right away. So now it gets to the food and the dinner and the chicken nuggets and how it impacts the timeline. Kevin Reddington spoke about this. He wasn't as clear in setting forth what he believes the timeline is, but here's what he has to say about the McNuggets.
Burden of proof is on them to prove to you that at the time that she killed these three beautiful kids, that she...
You know, this is the thing. I think anyone who does a crime like this is insane. But that being said, that doesn't mean you can unalive people. That's very well said. Very well said. Two old people on a couch. However, I also think sometimes people are just fucking evil in the moment. They don't care in the moment. But regardless to me, these kids are not alive anymore. 3 funerals, people. 3 funerals. Not one is terrible. We're talking about 3 caskets. 3 little caskets. There's no. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. There's just no way.
She just wanted to move on with her life. And I suggest to you, just as there's no chicken nugget residue, and then when you look at those photographs, there's a slice of a cucumber, there's a slice of a carrot, there's no chicken nuggets in that bowl.
But I think, and I'm so glad to see Widow here. I love you, dear. I think she may disagree with me on this case, and I hope she does call in here in a little bit when we take calls. I think you can also have mental illness. A lot of people have mental illness, and they don't unalive people. Now, again, for me, it's the control that Lindsay was in control.
Wouldn't know what.
And again, so was Travis Decker, in my opinion. He knew what he was doing when he picked those girls up.
The kids were eating. She was the one that would cook their dinner. She was in the refrigerator, but the guy yesterday is like, oh no.
Listen.
Patrick said that the child was eating the chicken McNuggets in the bowl. No, she was getting food out for the 2 kids, not the little baby. 2 kids for dinner. There's no evidence.
Look at Vinny's face.
There's no evidence that she's malingering.
Okay, so this is important for the defense.
Very important part here.
It's not her making the decision. The defense is saying it's the voice commanding her, and the voice doesn't arrive until that phone call. And it's from that point forward.
So this is the key distinction, right? The defense is saying, no, she didn't get this audible hallucination, if you will, this voice to tell her that to unalive her kids and then herself until after the phone call. After the phone call. Was it before the phone call or after the phone call? Well, the timing, not just in my opinion, but the timing looks like she had to absolutely unalive these kids before this phone call. Listen.
That the 3 killings take place and the attempt at her own life. So Lindsay Clancy did speak. She didn't testify in court, but she spoke with the experts. So let's take a listen to what she told the prosecution's 3 experts just a few months ago. We begin with Dr. Kirk Heilbrunn.
Thank you,
She
Rosie.
said,
Thank you, baby. Appreciate you very
sometime
much.
on the afternoon of January 24th, 2023,
Listen.
that she heard a voice, and the voice said, "This is your last chance. You have to kill the kids so you can kill yourself." If she actually heard a voice like that, that would be evidence of psychosis being experienced and what we call command hallucinations, where the voice is instructing her to do something.
Not a chance.
Okay, sometime in the afternoon.
Sometimes.
A little vague, not specific, but like the phone call.
So Lindsay tells this, I believe he's a psychologist, that she heard this voice sometimes in the afternoon. But the timing is very important here.
Call is a big deal. It's a real big deal in this case. Let's listen to Dr. Avram Mack now.
Her experience that is called a voice occurred in the late afternoon.
Do you recall if
Late
part of the
afternoon,
conversation about the timeline of events, whether the voice came as soon as Patrick left the house or before or after the phone call?
My recollection is that it happened as soon as Patrick had left.
There you go. Look at Vinny pointing right here. Vinny's pointing right here. His recollection is that this happened right after Patrick left. And again, it would have taken her some time to unalive 3 children. When you get a band, a gym, what are they called? Like a gym strengthening rope belt. They're kind of like a bungee cord, and wrap around your 3 children's necks.
Okay. So if the voice comes as soon as Patrick leaves, then in the middle of it all is this phone call. That's, if the voice is there, the voice is there. But are you really hearing the voice if you're able to make that phone call? Prosecutors are saying the voice wasn't there. And the fact of the timeline proves that it wasn't there. All right, now here's the one that was referenced in what we heard in the closing argument. Dr. Gregory Sadoff, the final witness. His is a little different than the other 2, what Lindsay allegedly tells him.
So Ms. Clancy stated to me and some other evaluators that her hallucination, that of an external voice, something coming from outside of her head, occurred when she was standing at the refrigerator. She said that she was in the process of making her children their dinner.
So Lindsay tells this doctor that this happened as she was like standing in the front of the refrigerator getting ready to make the meal. I don't believe that. Why do I not believe that? Because their bowls was sitting right on the couch.
When she received a call from Patrick Clancy, returned the call, and then as soon as she finished the call with Patrick Clancy, she said that is when she heard the voice.
So she tells this guy as she's at the refrigerator, and after she returns the call to her then husband, father of these children. That is whenever she makes the call, hangs up, and that's when she hears the voice. Hey, Kiki.
This is your last chance. You have to kill your kids and then kill yourself. And so that was what she told a number of us.
Okay, this is much more specific, right?
You know something, Brandy? The fact that it scares you is a very good sign. Is a very good sign. You know, there's a lot of people that have a lot of different diagnoses, and again, you keep it managed. You know, people live natural, healthy lives. But I don't think, in my opinion, this is because of anything else other than her.
She's preparing the food. That's part of the timeline.
Conveniently.
It's not until the phone call that she hears the voice. That's a different timeline. That is different than late afternoon hearing the voice. This is very specific. And would she have enough time afterwards? Prosecutors say no, not enough time to do all the things that she allegedly did. So how does this stack up? Because there's a correlation here between preparing the nuggets and hearing the voice. There's a correlation in that timeline. What does Patrick Clancy say about the food?
You see, the argument that I'm really making here is with Lindsay, it's kind of like what happened to her. With Travis Decker, it's what's wrong with him. And I don't think that's fair. I think they both unalived their kids. Travis is dead. He likely did unalive himself. Regardless, he was viewed by, as a monster. His ex-wife said he, tried to get help. And the system failed him. And again, the system may have failed both of them, but at the end of the day, they unalived their kids. And you gotta pay for
what
that.
Was going back and forth in the late afternoon up until the time that he leaves. Take a listen.
She did. This was her last chance. Mm-hmm.
I want to direct your attention to 4:53 p.m. that day. Did you receive a text from Lindsay about dinner?
Yeah.
And do you recall what it said?
Something along the lines of, do you want to get takeout? I haven't planned anything.
Do you recall it saying, any chance you want to do takeout from 3V? I didn't cook anything. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Okay. Did she send you another text at 4:56 p.m. asking you to take a look at the menu?
Yeah.
And did you send a text at 5:06 p.m. About Callan?
Listen to this again. Hold on.
Didn't cook anything. It's been a long day.
Listen to this. Hold on. Let me go back.
53 p.m. that day.
4:53 p.m.
Did you receive a text from Lindsay about dinner?
Yeah.
And do you recall what it said?
Something along the lines of, do you want to get takeout? I haven't planned anything.
4:53 p.m. Do you want to get takeout? I haven't planned anything. Okay. So she's, thank you, Terry, for the sparkles, my dear. Appreciate you. So she's, in my opinion, very much in control there.
Do you recall it saying, any chance you want to do takeout from 3V? I didn't cook anything. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Okay. Did she send you another text at 4:56 p.m. asking you to take a look at the menu?
Yeah.
Not to mention, that was what, 4:53. At 4:13, she used her Apple Maps to look at the route to 3V restaurant, how long that would take in order for her husband at the time to get there and come back. To me, that seems like premeditation, if you ask me.
And did you send a text at 5:06 p.m. About Callan?
Yeah, I asked if he had taken a nap.
And it also shows that she did that to make sure that he was far enough away that she could do this in time.
And did she respond?
Yeah.
And what was her response?
That it was a shorter nap and he was awake.
Okay. And at that,
so the restaurant, and she said, go to CVS and get, I forget what it was at CVS. I think it was some medicine or something.
at that time, did you also send a separate text asking what she was getting at 3V?
Yeah.
And did she ask?
Cora, it was Cora, wasn't it? Cora, she needed medication, was what it was. And she legitimately needed medication. So I give that where it is. Regardless, she said, get the medication. You got anything planned for dinner? No. Well, let me, go here, look at the menu, get him out of the way.
Ask you what you were getting.
Yeah.
And at 5:08 p.m., did you respond?
Yeah.
Who called in the order to 3V?
Lindsay.
Once the order was placed, what did you?
Okay. So Lindsay searched for the restaurant. She looked at the route. She searched for children's laxatives. She called CVS Pharmacy. She texted Patrick about the takeout. She told him to check 3V's menu, and Patrick ultimately left the house. And while he was gone, that's when she unalived.
What did you do?
I came upstairs. I took Callan for a minute, and I rocked him by my knees, kissed Cora on the head, and I said, I'll be right back.
And
when she calls the order in to 3V restaurant, the person said the woman sounded very coherent, like everything is good.
what was Dawson?
Okay, you see this bowl? That bowl is very, very important here. You see that blue bowl? It did. She is arguing that while she was at the freezer, this is when the voices started, telling her to unalive her kids and stuff. But it looks like the kids were, at least one or two of them, were there eating. So I think it happened.
Doing when you were leaving?
He was eating chicken nuggets on the couch.
And do you recall if he was using?
Listen to that.
And I said, I'll be right back. Rocked him. I took Callan for a minute, and I rocked him by my knees.
So before he leaves, he takes Callan, he rocks him on the knee, with the knees.
Kissed Cora on the head, and
kissed his daughter, Cora, on the head.
I said, I'll be right back.
And what was Dawson doing when you were leaving?
Right here.
He was eating chicken nuggets on the couch.
He was eating chicken nuggets on the couch. How about that? Well, Lindsay's saying, no. Nope. But he was eating chicken nuggets on the couch, according to the dad and Patrick. And he, in my opinion, has no reason to lie. This man has been drugged for filth. And it's a shame, in my opinion, that this father, who was literally lost everything, has been drugged for filth. And he's even been very compassionate toward Lindsay. I don't know if I could be as compassionate as him, to be honest with you.
And do you recall if he was using a bowl or a plate?
It was a bowl.
All right. His recollection, specific. It was the bowl, the image of the bowl, right? This is important. Like we were joking, nuggets, whatever. No, this is important. So the food's already prepared as he's leaving, the food for the children, the nuggets. So she's not in the kitchen.
The kids, that is true. And that is a fair point. The kids did not have any food allegedly in their stomachs. Regardless, the food is prepared, right? Right. Absolutely. We all have intrusive thoughts. 1,000%. Dr. Phil was talking about people when they are delusional can still carry on. They need to, but they're still being controlled by the psychosis. Yeah. They can sometimes have normal conversations with you and do certain things. Regardless, for me, it's not a matter of, even if she was, voices were talking in her head. She unalived 3 kids. Go to prison.
Kitchen preparing the food when she gets the call. Inputting this test food, leaving the food for the children, the nuggets. So she's not in the kitchen preparing the food when she gets the call. Inputting this testimony together, if you believe it all. It's important because we know when the call was made by Patrick Clancy.
It depends how you cook
We know
them.
when it was made. It was made when he was at CVS. Take a listen.
Okay, here's Patrick at the CVS.
And while you're in that section, looking for the medication,
Look right here.
do you do something?
I called Lindsay.
Listen.
And why did you call Lindsay?
Because what we were looking for wasn't there. The shelves were pretty empty. It was still during COVID.
I'm sorry, what?
It was during COVID, so.
Okay, so, and was that call at about approximately 5:33 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when this happened, I did a live stream on this as soon as it happened. It was absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. It was on my J4E channel.
And then, did she answer the call?
Yes.
She answered when you called her?
Actually, I think she didn't at first. She called back.
Okay. And did you receive a call back from her about a minute?
So he calls. She doesn't answer. She calls back. Acting like nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. And that's a very good point, Brittany. Had she unalived neighbors' 3 kids, would people be saying the same thing? Would the supporters be saying the same thing? That's a very good question.
A minute later at 5:34 p.m.?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And can you describe that
I
phone
think he
call
is a
for
cop
us?
too, to be honest.
It was very brief. I just said, I think there's a generic brand, and I said, is this one okay? And she said, yeah, that's fine.
And what was her demeanor during the call?
Listen.
She was pretty quiet. It sounded like she was busy. I remember hanging up thinking she's probably in the middle of giving baths or something like that.
So he calls and says, she doesn't answer. She calls back and he's like, he's at CVS and, can I, is this generic medication okay? And she says, yes, rather quiet, but sounds like she's busy. Okay.
So it sounded to you like she was in the middle of something?
Yeah.
Were you able to understand her when she spoke to you?
Yeah.
And did she seem to understand what you were saying?
Yes.
So she wasn't talking out of her head. She was making sense. She understood the conversation and she was, rather seemingly sounding okay.
And she didn't seem to have any trouble recalling why you were at CVS or what you were looking for?
That's correct.
And this is why this timeline is so important. The phone call seems very normal, no red flags. So could she be in the middle of a psychosis when that phone call is made from Lindsay to Patrick, returning his call at CVS? We know where he is. So does her story about getting the phone call while making the nuggets make sense if you believe Patrick, who said, yeah, Dawson was eating the nuggets out of the bowl on the couch when I left? So the time.
I mean, I think there's times where none of us are in a very good frame of mind. I think we've all looked back and thought, what the hell was I thinking? What the hell was I thinking right there? Right? But regardless, you do something even when you're not thinking clearly. You still did it. Right? Kimberly says, Justin, you can't play the psychosis card only half the time when it suits you. Mental illness is not that way. Have mental health issues. I know. Right? Just curious, why did he call and not text? I mean, some people are callers, some people are texters. I'm a caller generally. Because sometimes people don't really get that. If I was in CVS and I needed to know something immediately, I'm probably not going to text. I'm probably going to just call. That way, when it rings, people, okay, they're going to pick up.
Timeline
More
could
likely
be a very big deal for the jury in trying to figure out. But the bottom line is, how clear is it? Well, we've got more to talk about when it comes to this timeline. But the bottom line is, up until this point, the call is the only thing we know exactly when it takes place. So I want to say about something really exciting here at Law and Crime. If you haven't heard yet, we have the Law and Crime Plus app. Okay. And this crime and continuing with it.
All right, listen to this right here.
So now, continuing with our timeline, I want to try to figure out when the children were killed. What is the time frame that we're talking about? Let's take a listen to Dr. Gregory Asadoff, the forensic psychologist.
I mean, you have to in my opinion, she had to organize this, right? You made allegedly this food for the kids. You checked on the map, the Apple map or whatever it is, to see how far it was. Why was she checking on this map to see how far away this restaurant was when her husband was the one picking up the food, not her? She calls, like I said, the restaurant as well, sends him to CVS. Lots of organization, right? And makes phone calls, sounded normal.
Just the expert for prosecutors who interviewed Lindsay Clancy.
I don't
as he tells us what Lindsay told him about how she went about killing each child.
Ms. Clancy told me that after the phone call with her husband, she returned the call, that was when she took Dawson down the steps.
Before we get to that, Dr. Gregory Sathoff, I think that's how you pronounce it, described Lindsay's behavior that night as methodical, controlled, and organized, and argued those actions indicated that she retained control. Obviously, that's the defense expert, but nonetheless.
To her husband's office to strangle him. And I asked Ms. Clancy about what she remembered about what she said to Dawson to get him to go down the steps and leave.
Also, Patrick testifies that a week after the kids' deaths, that is when Lindsay tells him that she heard a man's voice. A week after. This is very important part.
Ms. Clancy about what she remembered about what she said to Dawson to get him to go down the steps and leave, his sister and brother upstairs, and was there resistance, verbalization, et cetera, crying. And she said she could not recall that. She could only recall bringing him down the steps and then strangling.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that, but I don't see it on the night that you are, as soon as your husband leaves, the kids have to, at that time, have to start being unalived. I think that's where it changes, though, in my opinion. I don't think it's anything weird to look up how far something is or whatever. But I think it's more likely she wanted to know how much time she have. I have a problem with no actual investigation being done. This case is based on Patrick's statement. The timeline doesn't make sense. And where was he, in my opinion, Chris Whiteside? Interesting, Sharon. I don't understand how people are blaming Patrick. Like, we know where he was. He was at the restaurant. He was at CVS. And Lindsay herself says she did this. It's not an argument of whether who did this. Lindsay says she did this, right?
Him. And then she repeated that the next child was Cora, that she went back upstairs and did not recall how she got Cora down the steps, how Cora came down the steps, but then brought her into a different area, kind of a living room area.
All three of these children were unalived in different areas downstairs. Two of them were face down, which I find interesting. The reason I find that interesting is many times if someone unalives someone that they care about or love, they don't want to look at their face. So they will do it from behind, or they will cover up their face after they're deceased. If they're transporting them, they'll cover up their head. They don't want to see the person that they care about or love's face.
In the basement and strangled Cora. And then lastly, that she went up to get Callan. And I asked her, I said, where was Callan? Upstairs. And she said, well, maybe in a playpen, often, she said she couldn't really remember, but then bringing Callan down. And he was the last child to be strangled, all during this time where this voice is over and over again saying, this is your last chance. You have to kill the children before you kill yourself.
Okay. So the picture being painted here is it all happens after 5:34. So now that window of time has been shortened when she does everything. Small. All after 5:34
Dawson
is when she begins, but she seems to be going up and down, up and down, up and down the stairs, one child at a time.
Very important.
Bringing them downstairs and going up, getting another child, bring him downstairs.
Going upstairs, unaliving the child, then going back upstairs, bringing the child the second child downstairs, unaliving that child, going back upstairs, bringing the third child down to unalive the third child. That seems like extra steps, in my opinion, if you are suffering from psychosis. That's, why bring them all downstairs? If someone, this audible voice is telling you to do this, you don't have much, this is your last chance. Seems like you wouldn't do that, downstairs.
Just going up, get another child, up and down. Take a listen to Kevin Reddington from his closing
Listen
argument.
to the phone.
Talking about this issue of going up and down the stairs and what her cell phone would be recording
Absolutely.
on Apple Health.
And she is a medical professional too, right? Snorting benzos and drinking them with wine, not a good thing, right? That is, now listen, that is drug abuse. Listen, when you are, I will give credit, because when you have mental illness, a lot of people abuse things, right? They self-medicate. However, they do it, whether that is with prescription or street drugs or something else. Listen to this.
Get another child,
Okay.
up and down.
Now,
Take a listen to Kevin Reddington from his closing
very important
argument,
point right here.
talking about this issue of going
Listen.
up and down the stairs and what her cell phone would be recording on Apple Health.
You don't measure on an Apple Watch. Well, I shouldn't say Apple Watch because we know that they didn't have the Apple Watch, but on a cell phone. You don't measure going down the stairs. You measure stair climbing, right? That's what the testimony was. And there were 3 stairs that were climbed. Okay. The last record is 5:38. At 5:38 p.m., we went through that on cross. What happens to the phone? Don't know. It was on the bed. Was it dropped on the bed and it left there for 20 minutes? She could have been anywhere in the house during all that period of time, right? Right?
Wrong.
Okay. Again, getting to the timeline. 5:38, the phone stops moving. Does that jive with going up and down after 5:34?
So
Doesn't make
let me play this.
sense, right? Unless she leaves the phone somewhere.
Now
and
listen,
she no longer
I'm
makes
gonna rewind that.
moving. Again, getting to the timeline. 5:38, the phone stops moving.
5:38 p.m. her phone stops moving. You know that they know the elevation, if you're going upstairs, downstairs, if you're moving. We know all of that, right? As true crime individuals.
Does that jive with going up and down after 5:34? Doesn't make sense, right?
No. So it doesn't seem like Lindsay was taking her phone downstairs, upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, and unaliving the kids. It's like she allegedly sat her phone down somewhere while she was doing this.
Unless she leaves the phone somewhere and she no longer has the phone. I mean, that's a possibility, right? So let's get to the cell phone itself.
Listen to
because
this.
the cell phone itself is significant here.
Very
and
important.
the extraction and the information that was taken from the Apple Health data.
Yes.
Here's Ian Whiffen,
Yes.
Cellbrite expert, testified in the Karen Reed trial.
I feel like people are defending, Lindsay and not thinking about the lives lost. That's the way I feel. I'm just being honest with you guys. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's the way I feel. With Travis, again, they say, he was having mental illness as well. Now, Travis, again, yeah, he was having mental illness, but he planned this, in my opinion, and then he ran and he hid. Well, to me, that doesn't say, you're psychotic after you're, hiding and doing all this stuff. That, to me, it shows intent.
Well, testified in this case. Let's take a listen.
And then did you create a timeline
Listen to this.
combining all the data that we've talked about into one timeline?
I did, yes.
I'm going to show you in a minute.
I'm going to the last page of your report, page 43.
Yeah. Agree,
Is this
Horsey.
the last page of the timeline?
It is, yes.
And in that page, can you explain what we're seeing here?
Yes, so the very first column is the timestamp. The next few columns, which show typically colored, is related to the activity, which will become a little bit clearer in a moment. The row or the column in the center explains what the record is. So if, for example, we look at the
I agree.
17, 13, 16 record, we can see a U, which means the device was unlocked in pink. That unlock event lasted until 17, 15, 12. So hence that entire column is in pink and shows the relevant lock event.
So here we have 513 device unlock,
Yes.
515 device lock, and there's this column connecting them, correct?
Correct.
I mean, I understand what you're saying there, Ginger. I'm sick of them saying that medical providers failed her. This is always the excuse. And this is the thing. There has to be some accountability for our own health as well. And, I'm trying to be fair to both Dr. and Lindsay in this case, even though I believe Lindsay deserves prison, in my opinion. But there has to be, Lindsay was going doctor to doctor to doctor, pill to pill to pill. I don't think she was giving, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like she wasn't giving her SSRIs enough time. They sometimes take weeks to work. They're not a quick fix, right? Widow says mental illness is not the excuse, it's the reason. Right? I'm trying to digest that. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. But the she was saying that she wasn't having any, feeling like she was going to hurt anybody or anything. How, my question is, there's a lot of people that suffer from mental illness. And there's absolutely no shame in that. Zero, zilch, nada, no shame in that. But what are we going to do if someone suffers from mental illness and they just unalive their kids and they just say, well, this is because of mental illness. You can go to a hospital for a couple years until you're better and you'll be fine. Go ahead and get out. You'll be fine after that. Right? To me, regardless, this is, unaliving someone, unfortunately, is a permanent thing. and you can't take it back, whether it's 100% mental illness or it's not. You gotta pay the piper. Thank you, Summer Breeze. Well done, Justin. Thank you so much, Summer. Appreciate you, babies. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I agree, Justin. And once again, she was a nurse and knew that. Agree?
Right. And then any activity that happened during that unlocked time is then shown within the rows between. So again, we see Safari open at 17:13:16. Safari was closed at 17:14:47. Messaging was opened at 17:14:47. While messages were open, there was an outgoing message sent for PDLX. Then messaging was closed. Messaging was opened again, and messaging was closed prior to the device locking. So everything in the colored columns tries to show all of the events that happened at the same time or during that parent's event.
And what we have here at 5:33 p.m., we have the flight climb started, is that correct?
Correct.
And flight climb ended at 5:38, so
Yes.
that line again connecting them?
Correct. So 2 flight climbs occurred during that time period.
And in between when the flight climb started and the flight climb ended, you have the 2 calls, the incoming call that was missed from Patrick and then the outgoing call to Patrick, correct?
Correct.
So the first flight climbed had already been started. Someone had already started climbing up a flight of stairs when that first unanswered call happened, correct?
Very important part.
So flight climb started is how it's listed within the database and within the software. But it actually, the flight climb time is when the flight climb has been recognized by the device as the device has already climbed up those stairs. So even though it says flight climb started, that's technically the time that the flight climb or the first flight climb had ended.
So how it logs it, once you start up the stairs and you are at the first level, that is when it actually logs it. When you are already up at the top of the first flight of stairs. That's when the device knows. So she was prescribed about 13 medications from, when was this? September 2022. And she was prescribed Zoloft in September of 2022, and she didn't start taking that till mid-October. Then she was prescribed Ativan. She was prescribed Buspar, Trazodone, Prozac, Ambien, Remeron, Klonopin, Seroquel, Valium, Lamictal, what else? Amitriptyline, and some antihistamine used for anxiety or sleep. Zoloft, like I said, she was prescribed in September 15, 2022, but she didn't take that until October. She started out on 25 milligrams common, and she went to 50 milligrams for one night, then reported worsening anxiety, racing thoughts, and fear of becoming self-inflicted unaliving. Her psychiatrist told her to stop around October 20th. So she was on that, to have been on that around a week or so only. The Ativan, she started taking around October 21st. She started out on 0.5 milligrams. She increased it to 1 milligrams October 26th, then reduced it again. She continued using it until late November, early December, and expressed concern that she was becoming dependent on it. The provider later planned to tape her off of that. Buspar, she was prescribed that October 26th, 6 days later. She received another 30-day prescription only about 2 weeks later, even though her first supply shouldn't have been ran out at that time. Trazodone, she was prescribed in the ER November 16th after she reported sleeping only about 3 hours per night. Records describe it as ineffective. Prozac, she started November 21st. 5 days after being prescribed the trazodone. Started out with 10 milligrams. Within days, she reportedly described feeling spacey. By earlier December, another provider was advising her to hold off on the Prozac while other medications were adjusted. The Ambien, Remeron, and Klonopin was all prescribed November 25th. That is 4 days after the Prozac. 5 days before the trazodone. And that was, again, November 25th. She reported that she was having intrusive thoughts that concerned her. And there was testimony about providers wanting her to continue it long enough to see whether it would work or not. Then she was prescribed Seroquel, which is an antipsychotic, around November 30th, which is, again, 5 days after she was prescribed the Ambien, the Remeron, and the Klonopin. This became one of the major drugs that she used it through much of December, often with Valium to sleep. That's a lot of sleeping medication. She complained of fatigue, no doubt, numbness, and depression. After her psychiatric admission, McLean Hospital reportedly took her off Seroquel on January 5th, 2023. The Valium she was using with Seroquel in December and repeatedly discussed tapering it. She requested a refill, though, on December 19th before entering a women and infants program. What was it? I'm trying to think here. The antihistamine that she was taking that was prescribed as an alternative to Benadryl during her medication management period. The amitriptyline she was prescribed later in treatment. The doctor continued trying to address the depression. It was also detected in her blood after she unalived the kids, although the concentration could not be precisely determined. The Lamictal was among the 13 drugs prescribed, but at the trial, it doesn't say whenever she started it or anything like that. Blood testing after the unalivings reportedly detected several medications. Prosecutors said Remeron and Seroquel were at, quote, peak levels, end quote, consistent with them having been ingested roughly 2 hours before the blood draw. Prosecutors argued that the timing suggests those medications may have been swallowed after the children were unalived, during Lindsay's, alleged self-inflicted unaliving, rather than these drugs causing her to do this. So it was allegedly after, because they only have a certain long of a half-life. Lots and lots and lots of rugs, right? Elizabeth, thank you for the happy poo, my darling. Good to see you. Thank you so much, babe. Really appreciate that. I mean, this is the thing. But remember, Justin, she would have... Where was that? But remember, Justin, she would have these phone appointments, and I'm sure she didn't tell the docs she wasn't taking her meds properly. they may have added boosters because of that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. You can't take something, 4 or 5 days and expect it to change your life. You can't expect it to change your life. Now, some of them, you might know that they're not agreeing with you within a certain, pretty early on. However, you know what? Again, I'm not a medical professional, but I don't know why they didn't give her the genetic testing on what drugs that she might respond to better based upon her genes. They can do that with antidepressants. They can give you a genetic testing, and you can try the drugs that you are, based upon your genetic testing, that you are more likely to respond to. I do think they should have done that, particularly if you're not responding to certain drugs. But a lot of these medications work very, very similar. But they are different. Yes, we do it all the time, even in family. Yeah, I mean, any doctor can pretty much do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you are, if you suffer from depression, and ask your doctor that you want the genetic testing to see what you might respond to better. Okay, now this is very important right here about the phone. And to me, right here, this seals it for me.
Climbed up those stairs. So even though it says flight climb started, that's technically the time that the flight climb, or the first flight climb had ended.
So where it says
You can.
5:33, 34 flight climb started, that actually indicates the person has gone up that first flight of stairs already.
Yes, that indicates the phone has now realized I'm 3 meters higher than I was the last time I checked. Therefore, a flight climb has already been completed at that point.
And then the calls happen, and then the phone realizes at 5:38 that another flight has been climbed.
Correct.
Okay, listen to this.
2 flights
Listen.
are climbed.
2.
2 flights. And in between the 2 flights are the phone calls. We know what time the phone calls were. 5:34, she calls back.
So 2 flights of stairs. Remember, the kids' unalivings happened in the basement, right? You go from the basement to, the floor 1. And then there's another flight of stairs upstairs to their bedrooms and all that. Well, she climbs 2 flights of stairs, but in between that, she talks to Patrick, seeming like everything's okay. Right?
So climbing up 1 flight of stairs, calls Patrick, climbs another flight of stairs, and then there is no more activity on the phone. What story does that tell? What picture does that paint for the timeline? It's up for interpretation, right? I mean, prosecutors, defense, interpreting everything a little differently, and the jury gets their own way to do it. How about me? How do I look at that? I look at that like, it seems to me we may be at the point where the children are dead already.
Yep.
The children are dead down in the basement.
Yep.
She comes up from the basement.
Yep.
Gets the knife in the kitchen.
Yep.
Makes the phone call, then goes upstairs and attempts to take her life.
Yep. That's exactly what it seems. That's exactly what it seems. She's already taken the kids individually downstairs. 1 downstairs, unalives that child, goes back upstairs, brings the next child down, unalives that child, goes back upstairs, brings the third child down, unalives that child, then goes upstairs, and then makes this phone call, and then she goes to the kitchen to get the knife, and after the phone call, again talking just fine, and then goes to try to unalive herself. I agree with Vinny. She knew it was wrong. She lied. Yeah, to Pat. Yep. And she was not. And was she not snorting pills? That screams history of drug use to me. So about the pill snorting, there's testimony that there was crushed pills that Dr. Gregory testified on, and there was a wine tumbler containing crushed or powdered medication in their bedroom. Now, Lindsay allegedly said that she was taking an OD using lemonade in the wine glass or the tumbler. So there's that. Now, Patrick said that wasn't typical. No, she did not take them all at once down. She took them down individually. None of the children lived. She put an exercise band around all of their necks. Just unthinkable.
I mean, that fits for me, but
me too.
There could be other explanations, including going up and down the stairs without the phone. But it's not 100% clear. I told you it wouldn't be 100% clear. And neither side
and they should
really attempted to explain everything in the timeline. And I think that may be a problem for this jury. So, as we've been saying, no verdict today, but there were things happening at the courthouse. So let's bring in Law and Crime's Sierra Gillespie. She's the host of Scandal. Okay, Sierra, paint the picture for us at the courthouse. I always like to start there with who is where. Do we know where people are waiting? Is the crowd of supporters for Lindsay Clancy waiting by as well?
You know, Vinny, I'm kind of surprised by the response here today. There has not been that big crowd of supporters that we saw at Karen Reed, for instance, or Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Nothing like that. Honestly, it's pretty quiet outside. It's filled with media, but it's one of those things that during the waiting game where we're all kind of dispersed. Some people are upstairs in the hallway near the courtroom in case there's a question or a verdict or whatever it may be. Some are outside staking the doors to see, is Kevin Reddington going to come out? Can we ask him a couple of questions? And then there's people like me who are under a tent ready to go live. And as we've been doing, literally live streaming this entire thing, every update we have, bringing it to viewers. And so it's an interesting mix of mostly journalists.
So the timeline is it's very, very tight, right? Patrick was gone about 50 or 55 minutes. He left the house at 5:15, January 24th, 2023. He goes to CVS, and then he picks up the food at 3V. He was captured on the CVS, which you seen just a minute ago, at 5:32. He spoke with Lindsay by phone at 5:34 when she called him back. He picked up the food at 5:54 and returned home shortly after 6 o'clock. At 6:09, he was calling Lindsay from inside of the house because he couldn't find her, because remember, she went out the window. Lindsay later accounted to the prosecution psychiatrist, Dr. Gregory, that she said that this voice began around 5:34. Yeah. Right after the phone call with Patrick.
Some reporters, of course, Lindsay Clancy's family, and then a couple of supporters here and there.
Okay, let's talk about what happened in the morning. We heard from the jury, sort of. Explain to us how that went down and what we learned, if anything.
Let me show you this.
What I did find interesting, too, is the mental disease and defect of it all, because that plays into the criminal responsibility here. And multiple of the rebuttal witnesses for the Commonwealth testified that they believe Lindsay Clancy does have a mental disease or defect, or did at the time, meaning bipolar 2, for instance. So that's interesting to hear from the Commonwealth witnesses.
Yeah. And the other part of it, and I think you make a great point here, is the voice, right? So is the voice is commanding her allegedly, and the big question is the voice controlling her actions, or is Lindsay Clancy controlling her actions? So if she's not able to go through with the suicide, then she has.
I mean, from mid-October to what? January 24th, taking 13 medications. That's a lot of medication. Her being a nurse, you would think she knows that you have to
some level of control. And I mean,
thank you,
that is
guys.
Really like nuanced, but
you.
Maybe the jury is there. This could be a very sophisticated jury that is diving into the nuance of this very complicated scene.
Oh, yeah. The voice of it all is so interesting because it's up to the jurors to decide, did she actually hear it? Is there enough evidence that was presented from the defense that shows, yeah, I do think that she actually heard the voice? And the Commonwealth and their witnesses pointed to some interesting things. The fact that she only heard this voice one time. There's the inconsistency of the chicken nuggets, which I can tell you, I didn't expect to see a Shining reference in the closing arguments, but we got that. I did not expect to hear about OJ, and I didn't expect that so much of this would involve chicken nuggets, but here we are. And I do have to wonder, are the jurors going back in the deliberation room and they're saying, okay, so Lindsay said she was at the refrigerator getting the chicken nuggets out, whereas Patrick said that when he left, Dawson was already eating the chicken nuggets. I mean, I know that's kind of funny, but could it come down to something so simple as them discussing the believability of who had the chicken nuggets when?
Yeah, because that goes to the timeline. When was the phone call made? Right. A lot of unanswered questions here. But Sierra Gillespie in Plymouth, Massachusetts, waiting for that verdict with the rest of us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Vinny, for having me.
I agree.
I want to take a moment to show you some images because I think some of this.
Now look at
really
this. Watch this video.
Coverage of this case. The victims, the children. It's so heartbreaking. Let's start with this video.
We're going to talk about her journal here in a second.
Before their lives were taken. The whole family is at the Museum of Science in Boston. Let's take a look as you hear a description of what exactly we're looking at.
Watch this. Watch this.
We could pause here for just a moment. Do you see the Clancy family in this video footage?
Yes.
And if you could just get up and point to them with the court commission.
Sure.
So they're right here.
Okay. We could press play.
Hold on. When was this? I'm trying to remember when this was. 1 second.
Before their lives were taken.
This was a couple weeks.
In this video footage.
This was a couple weeks before Lindsay did this.
Yes.
And if you could just get up and point to them with the court commission.
Sure.
Okay. We could press play. And at this point in time in the video, are we seeing Patrick Clancy take Dawson Clancy out of that room, leaving Lindsay Clancy with Callan and Cora?
Yes.
Is that Cora there in the red skirt?
Yes.
Now, at this point in the video, at approximately 11:58 and 30 seconds, what is happening in the video footage now?
Cora's beginning to play with the exhibit. Patrick standing off.
There is reports that she allegedly looked up. There were search warrants for ways to kill. She Googled a lot of stuff. This was a couple weeks prior. Now, someone was just talking about what was it? Her journals, right? And her journals, and she had also phone notes, kind of like, journal. And it talks, this was before January 24th. And she writes repeatedly that taking care of 3 young children had become overwhelming. In one journal entry, she describes feeling as though she was, quote, drowning every day and desperate for a mental break from having to take care of everyone. She said her mind never shuts off because she's constantly thinking about what somebody needed next. She became extremely fixated on baby Callan's sleep schedule. She wrote that hearing him cry during sleep training, which look that up if you don't know what that is, was agonizing. And she told Patrick that she wanted to DIE, quote, end quote, while Callan was crying. Afterward, she said that she became obsessed with his naps and sleep schedule almost down to the minute. She wrote about having severe insomnia, anxiety, depression, loss of appetite, brain fog, feeling disconnected from Callan, feeling as though she were merely going through like the motions of life, worrying that she wouldn't be able to function when she returned to work, guilt about her marriage, and wanting to reconnect with Patrick. In one of her cell phone notes, Lindsay talks about how she felt less connected to Callan and wrote that she, quote, sort of resented, end quote, her other children because having the older children prevented her from treating Callan the way that she's been able to treat her first baby. So there's that as well. She was also terrified of failing the children. In around the same period, she wrote that she feared something happening to her children or that she would somehow damage their development. She wanted to be able to relax, be happy, and care for them properly. Her phone contained positive affirmations such, "I'm a great mom," "I love my kids," and statements that she would overcome postpartum, anxiety, and depression. Now, there was a note that was modified the day before she unalived the kids. A cell phone on her cell phone she created in December, but it was modified on January 23rd, again the day before the children were unalived. In it, Lindsay blamed prescription medication for dramatically changing her life and motherhood. She described herself as having been happy and healthy before postpartum anxiety and said things began going downhill after treatment started. She went through, in those notes, she went through all of her medication history and talked about difficult sleeping without the medication, that she was becoming increasingly dependent on medication for sleep, and the series of treatment changing how she was being treated. So all of that. She also said that, like I said, she had a lot of affirmations, that she loves her kids, that she's a great mom. She's terrified something will happen, but she also said she's drowning, desperate, needed a break. She's disconnected from the baby, that she resented the demands created by her other children, that she wanted to DIE. And that's, her journals. So I don't know. She was selfish. She had a ton of, listen, I think if you're a parent, you feel like you're drowning sometimes. I think that is a natural thing as a parent. That is human. That is human. It doesn't mean you are drowning. Sometimes you feel a certain way, but that doesn't mean the feeling is going to be there tomorrow, right? How many children and women had a nanny for? Yeah, I'm 62 and have to depend on sleep med. Yeah, I took an Ambien the other night live. Didn't mean to. I don't care if I need to take sleeping medication. I need to take sleeping medication. So what? Right? If a mother says she needs a break, she needs a break. Well, I understand that, right? And I think we can all use a break sometimes, but that's also sometimes just not a luxury, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Patrick and Lindsay, they are very privileged compared to a lot of others, right? We all need breaks sometimes. It is the absolute toughest job on earth. And, I think in life, even if you don't have kids, you feel like you're drowning at times. It's human condition. My son is autistic and I can't leave him with anyone because he's nonverbal and I don't trust people. No breaks, still not murders. Right. Yeah. Linda, thank you, baby. 11 months. Thank you for all these cases, Justin. You're a great host, great mods, and wonderful pearls. Love you, Miss Linda. You are such a darling. I appreciate you very, very much. I really want people to disagree with me on this, though. I want to hear other perspectives. Come on, y'all. Voice up if you disagree with me on this. Twin mommy, thank you so much, my dear. Really, really do appreciate you. Really do. I don't know how mothers do it. I truly don't. Sarah, before I became a parent, it's like if you're so tired sometimes and you think, like before I was a parent, I thought, oh my God, if I had kids right now, I don't know what the hell I would do. I'm so exhausted, right? But once you become a parent, you're exhausted, but you still do it. It's like the children rely on you for everything. And though you be tired, you do it. There's not another option. You know what I mean? So it's a mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually draining thing at times. And if you're a parent and you say it's not, you're lying. You're lying, because it absolutely is sometimes. I do think Lindsay was overwhelmed, and I do think she was things she wanted to be perfect, and It didn't seem that way. But the thing is, in my opinion, is she's no different than any other home. We all feel like, we're going crazy sometimes, especially if you got a bunch of little ones at one time. But there is no pill that's going to take that away. There's just no pill that's going to take that away. I want you to call in here in a minute, widow. We're gonna do calls here in a minute.
Himself, Lindsay Clancy is with Callan, and Dawson is watching.
Could you just point out where Patrick and Dawson are?
Twin mommy. I've got twins as well. My twins are 12 now, but the first couple of years was exhausting. However, I don't know anything different. I was overwhelmed. So I've got an older one, and then I've got my twins are a few years younger than my older one. And looking back, a singleton is, I could do it in my, sleep. But twins, multiples is a whole different, it's a whole different jam. It really is. Okay. All right.
For the record, you've pointed to.
So here is Patrick right here. Here is Lindsay and one of the babies. Other one is in right here. And then, no, sorry. Here's the baby. Here's the other child, and the other one is playing in here.
Patrick towards the top of the screen, and Dawson near the entrance to the exhibit.
Yes.
Yes.
And throughout this video, in this portion of the video, can the defendant be seen instructing the children, pointing to them, showing them how to work the exhibit and operating some type of control panel?
Yes.
She need to be out of the home.
And at some point, does this switch and the defendant helps Dawson with the same exhibit?
Yes.
And that goes on for
I mean, I cannot believe, Eileen, that people are blaming Patrick. I mean, I think that is just as crazy at, like, people, like, if you support Lindsay, fine, right? But people have to always pass the buck or make it into this big ass conspiracy theory. Stop blaming Patrick. This man lost everything. Okay. Go ahead and you can go ahead and call in, widow. Go ahead and call in. Let me hold on 1 second. We'll take some calls here. We'll go back to some stuff here. Let me wait a second before you call. I need to pop something up here because I'm going to try to do it this way. Just give me 1 second. Okay. And then I think I do it like this. And then I do it like this. 1 second. Okay. All right. I think you can call now. 1 second. Audio settings. Speakers. Podcast. Perfect. Okay. I think it'll. All right. If you want to call in, I'm going to try it this way so I don't have to put my mic up to this. So if you want to call in, let me put my phone number up here. Here we go. 307-228-4906. I want people to I really want someone to disagree with me. Who is Travis Decker? Travis Decker was a guy who unalived his 3 daughters. A very similar kind of situation, in my opinion. He was going through mental health problems. We're going to pull up some stuff here in just a second about him. So, Patrick is another Chris Watts. In a sense, he got a new wife and less responsibility out of this. Sorry, again, just my opinion. See, Marie, but he didn't choose this. You know what I mean? Like, Chris Watts did this because he wanted to move on. You know what I mean?
Call from Sharon.
Okay.
To accept.
Hello.
Hi, Justin.
Hey there. Hey, let me make sure that they can hear you. Guys, can you hear our caller?
Hello.
1 second. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Let me make sure that they can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep. We are good as gold, girl. All right. Give it to me.
Alrighty. Well, I disagree with you.
Perfect. Let's go.
Yeah. I just don't understand how she had Seroquel in her system when she had stopped it. It was one of the drugs they found in her system.
Well,
I don't
apparently
understand how
the
how
thing.
that table in her bedroom.
Yeah.
There.
So from what I understand, this is. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure something's working here. From what I understand, she took Seroquel and Remeron after the unalivings. Right. I mean, you can't have something in your system if you haven't taken it in a while, right? It's kind of like, going and getting a piss test from, for a job or whatever, a drug test. And they say, well, you've got this in your system, and people argue up and down. Oh my God, I haven't did that. Well, yeah, you have. You if you've got it. We got just one more. Someone called Widow. You be next, my dear. I saw that you tried to call. So what do you specifically? What else do you disagree with? Just curious.
The whole timeline, the CVS, him walking in, the difference between the two pictures.
Hold on. Wait. How do you? My question is, and listen, I want you again to disagree with me, but how do you disagree with him being in the CVS with the timestamp on the surveillance footage and the camera or in his phone, both?
Right, but if he left at 5:15, as he claims, he should have been there within 3 minutes, like he stated it took. But why did it was so late for him to enter the CVS on the timestamp? And why, when you look at the CVS, his hair is much straighter than at the Chinese restaurant. It's curly.
Well, I mean, I don't know about. I mean, I think it might be the angle and stuff as well. I mean, I probably look a lot different today because I'm in a different, background and all that stuff as well. But I mean, for me, I
Did you
don't.
see the lady that was in CVS
Pardon me?
in a white jacket?
Yeah. I showed it earlier. I showed the video earlier.
Did you zoom in on the face? She was wearing a mask.
Who was wearing a mask?
The lady that's in the white jacket. she had a mask on like it was COVID, but nobody was wearing masks at that time.
Well, I mean,
They said that it was somebody else and there was a handoff.
no, baby. No, I don't think this is some big conspiracy. I mean, again, this was the time of the Rona. People still wear masks. Some people didn't wear a mask. Again, this is the beginning of 2023. COVID had already, it had been almost 2 years. But I don't think that you can. I mean, if you've got the telematics on Patrick's car, you've got his phone. They know exactly where Patrick was. They've got his phone being in CVS pharmacy. They've got his credit card where he purchased the stuff. Lindsay called and placed the order for the food and looked up how long it would take to travel there.
Well, she didn't want to be alone that long. It just does. This doesn't make sense. It's like an Alex Murdoch, Chris Watts story. No investigation. Okay, thank you, Justin. I'll go ahead and let you take the other call.
Okay, I appreciate you calling and stating that, though. I really do. I like to hear others' opinions. We disagree on that.
I just don't get how they didn't have no footsteps in that bedroom at all.
What's that?
The footsteps, there were none. Footprints. All that blood, her walking around. That's weird. And the blood under that little table.
But here's the thing. But she admits this. She admits this. She doesn't disagree to unaliving her children.
I think she was convinced that she did it. And
I mean,
it's a way to get out of going to jail or a trial for murder.
But here's the thing. I mean, you can't really be serious that this happened in 50 or 55 minutes, and Patrick's, all of his timestamps are legit. She calls him back while she is at the house, and Patrick is away in that 50 some minutes.
Okay, Justin, I'll let you talk with Whittle. Okay.
Okay, baby. All right. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you.
Oh, I just love it that I got to talk to you.
I appreciate you calling in. Truly. Thank you very much.
Justin, I need to tell you.
Uh-huh.
We share the same birth date.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
We're both cancers. That's amazing. Okay.
you
All
very
right. Someone else is calling in. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you.
Thank you, honey.
All right. Bye-bye.
Call from White Widow Baby TN.
White Widow Baby. How you doing, darling?
Hi, Justin.
Thank you for
I'm
calling.
sleepy.
I know.
I'm
I appreciate
sleepy. So
you.
if you hear any noises, my partner's actually driving the truck still.
That's okay.
And I've been staying up listening and all that. And I'm calling in to disagree.
Let's
I
go.
appreciate you having an open forum for everybody to be able
course.
to say what they've got to say.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I don't know if I've ever felt so passionate and about something. I've did quite a bit of research. I've listened to psychiatrists. I've listened to interviews with women who has suffered from postpartum psychosis. I don't know why it's so hard for people to accept the fact that I feel, please chat, okay? I've already saw a lot of the bad things.
Nobody's going to attack
say.
you. You're family here, girl.
I feel like it, and that's why I feel like I can talk to everybody.
Absolutely.
I don't know why it's so hard for people to not understand that postpartum psychosis is an illness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why we have, well, mental hospitals, asylums. Uh, there's a reason because people, mothers, um, some of them do suffer from psychosis and the loud command voices. I heard a lot of women today that was in psychosis or had been and was talking about the commands, and you can actually do normal things
Mm-hmm.
actually while you're in psychosis.
Sure.
The command and voice is so profound that it's almost like they described like a puppet, like
Mm-hmm.
she was a puppet doing things that she normally wouldn't do. I haven't heard one single person say anything other than she was a loving mother, very detailed, and went to those doctors begging for help. Her own mother-in-law said that.
Sure. Sure. I think you can. Again, I don't think the argument, in my opinion, is that you can't have. Again, I'm a male, right? So it's postpartum is a real thing, right?
Yes.
But for me, it's not even even if she did have postpartum, um, she still unalived these kids, and for me, why would she wait a whole week before talking about this voice in her head? When did she actually first hear this man's voice uh,
Well,
in her head? Was
well,
it?
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, the way I understood it, Justin, by the testimonies and stuff, she'd been going and saying she'd have intrusive thoughts, and asking the doctors for help. She called the suicide hotline twice, with no didn't get any help.
Hmm.
She tried to check herself into the mental facilities. I forget the names of them. Twice.
Hmm.
One time they kept her. It was on the like New Year's, and they basically, had low staff, to help, and kind of like, okay, just sit
Hmm.
over here and play with some clay, and we'll get to you.
Hmm.
And she wasn't getting any help, so she checked herself out.
But I mean, uh, she's had more help than most in her. I mean, she is in a much better position than.
Was she?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, she was in a much better position than uh, as far as her being a nurse. Number one, number two, she had financial. She's privileged. I'll just say that a more privileged life than someone, in my opinion, that doesn't have the resources that
Right.
she had. I mean, there's okay, let's we bond over the Summer Wells case, right?
We did, yes.
So if this was Candace Wells, who has the better resources, Candace or Lindsay, sorry.
Well, mental illness, I don't think can be. Uh, I don't think it discriminates.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it discriminates. It does not. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or the homeless person on the street.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, she again she was seeking help. I get that,
Yes.
right? I get that,
Mhm.
and that's what we should all do whenever
Yes.
we are going through. I call it going through the gigs. That's just a little thing I say, but
I get it.
going
I
through
get it.
the trying times or whatever, whether that is
Mhm.
hormonal or mental or whatever. Um, but there is clearly, I mean, so much medication that
Yes,
she was being
too much.
prescribed.
Yes, too much.
And in my opinion, I feel like it was more looking for a quick fix, if you will. I think she was going to all of these doctors, um, expecting this to turn around maybe quicker
Quicker, maybe. Yeah.
than what she
Yeah.
thought. But
I think.
here's the thing:
Mhm.
whenever you're a parent, it's a struggle. You can take all the antidepressants in the world, all the anxieties and depressants and anxiety medication. It is still, that struggle is never going to leave you. That is life.
Yeah,
And
but
a lot of times we just want the struggle to end, whatever that struggle is. Um, and it just becomes overwhelming.
some of us are able to cope uh, more than others.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
And I think a brain breaks sometimes. When that happens. Like the Andrea Yates lady. I researched. I listened to the whole documentary
Mhm.
today. She took 5 kids one at a time, just thought of, and drowned them, right?
Mhm.
And she's sitting in a mental facility today.
Yeah, and I
You
think that's
know,
wrong.
well, I think they need to, help. But see, she didn't reach out for help, did she? Or am I wrong about that? I think she did, and
She
then
was a
she
lunatic
said she
to
didn't want to.
begin with, in my
Mhm.
opinion, but and that's right. She was seeking help and not taking medication. If she wasn't, it was
Mhm.
useless. And you're right. I mean, listen, I give Lindsay the credit for,
Trying.
going to the doctor.
Realizing something's wrong. It's the ones who don't realize that something's maybe not, you know, uh, clicking correctly, I
Well,
guess you would say, and begging for help because it seemed to me like well, everybody said that she loved being a mother. She loved those children. I just, something had to go horrifically wrong in her brain. It had to.
um,
There's a difference between her and like somebody like Susan Smith, who drowned her 2 children to be with some other guy, and have a single
sure,
life. She
sure.
was.
Well,
That's the ones that need to be in the jailhouse.
but here's the thing. I mean, yeah, like in Chris Watts' case and Smith's case, like he was talking about. Yeah,
Yes, jailhouse.
they wanted to, they thought the grass was greener on the other side. How
Jailhouse. Yes.
however, um, she Lindsay did speak about, let me find my notes here, where in her journal, um, she talks about, where is it? Talking about her in her phone as well. That she described as feeling drowning every day. That she was overwhelmed. That she was
Yes.
resentful
Yes.
to the kids and stuff like that, and that
Yes.
she needed she wanted a mental break. Um,
Yes.
but here's the thing, for me, we all need a break sometimes. Unfortunately,
Yes.
sometimes we can't have a break.
Yes.
That's just
Exactly.
freaking life. Let's just be real.
And some
Um,
of us don't suffer with mental illness, and some people, unfortunately, do.
sure, sure,
It's like
but
1 out of every 1,000 women, their hormones get all out of whack. And I know I'm probably getting crucified in chat. I'm not even
no,
looking.
you're not. No,
You know,
nobody.
um, I have
Everybody can.
sympathy for Travis Decker. That doesn't mean that I don't have sympathy for those children. You know, that stuff breaks my heart. All of it does, really. But I have a lot of empathy for mental illness as well.
Sure.
Just like people that have dementia. Say you go see your father and he has dementia and he knows you and he's great, but then the next time you go visit him, he punches you in the mouth. You don't, like, oh my God, you see what I'm saying? Because you don't call the police, you don't have him arrested, because you
Sure.
know that that's not who your father is. You get what I'm saying?
No,
He's
I totally
mentally
get. I mean,
ill.
there are sick brains and stuff, but I also
Yes.
think there's just sick people
I
out there as well. Just
Yep, Chris Watts,
I think
Susan Smith.
I
We just named a few of them.
but I also think good people can have a moment of doing things that you can't rewind. And the timeline for me, it just won't work. And regardless, if she was, like I said, crazier than a bed bug,
Yeah.
you still unalived your kid, your
I get
kids,
that.
and
I
you
she
you looked up a bunch of stuff prior. You took them down individually. Um, you didn't tell anybody for a week. Um, you know, I it's I know
tell
it's a
anybody for a week. I don't understand.
she didn't tell she didn't tell Patrick, sorry, um, or anybody else for a week that she heard voices in her head.
She kept saying she had intrusive thoughts. She thought people could hear what was in her head.
Intrusive thoughts. We all have intrusive thoughts. You've never had
Yeah,
an
but
intrusive thought?
I have. That's
Of
why
course.
we don't act on them. But mentally ill people suffering from mental illness and the brain break, that's the ones who can't control
So
the.
you
We
think
can
that
control that.
Mhm. So you think that she broke as soon as Patrick went to go get the medicine and the food when she sent him out to do that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. And the chicken nuggets, that just drives me crazy. Everybody's like, sure, the little boy was eating chicken nuggets. Okay, we get it. Why is it so hard to believe that maybe the other child wanted chicken nuggets, or
Well, it's
maybe the little boy wanted more chicken nuggets and she was actually getting chicken nuggets? Maybe the breaking point was when he called her. Maybe that's when it took over.
well, I mean, it matters because of when she actually says she broke, right?
Hmm.
Was it you know when she uh sent him out to do all of this, on this trip, or did she just legitimately have this break after she gets off the phone with him? And remember, she
Right.
she talks to him again after she
Yes.
unalives three children
Yes.
and goes up two flights of stairs and
Hmm.
goes and gets the knife.
Yes. Even Dr. Phil was saying that you can still be normal and talk normal while you're in psychosis.
Sure. I don't put a lot of stock in Dr. Phil, to be honest with you.
Well,
And
he
the
is not the only one. I listened to
Sure,
psychotic
sure.
women
But,
today.
but
There's an attorney
Mhm.
who wrote a book. I wish I could remember her name right now. When she had her child, she said that it scared her so really bad. She was like an attorney, very well thought of. She had a child, a little baby,
Mhm.
and she said she had some scissors at her desk, and and she said she was just like, I should pick those scissors up, and do, her little child.
Sure.
And she was like, she was like, then she said, the next thing she knows, she was seeing the unaliving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she woke up on the floor, and she didn't tell anybody either because she was afraid of the stigmatism of it,
Sure.
stigma of it.
Mm-hmm.
So she took all the objects and stuff, anything, and put them in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so afraid. And she was like, where did that thought come from? I would never do anything like that to my
Yeah.
child.
But this was
And,
asked. This was asked of Lindsay many times. Do you feel like harming anybody?
but she was afraid to tell them because she was afraid they would take her child from her,
Lindsay
her
was.
children from her. Lindsay.
So she's a
And
nurse.
so was the attorney.
So she's a
So was the
nurse,
attorney.
and she's then she failed. She failed even double there, if you ask me.
Yeah, but if you're in your right mind, do you really think clearly?
Well, I mean, if you're afraid they're going to take your kids away when you're married, I mean, because you have mental health doesn't mean they take your kids away. It means you have a mental health condition, and you're doing the responsible thing by actually working on that, fixing that, so it doesn't get worse.
Right, I understand that, but someone mentally ill, like she was, would not understand that. She would think the very opposite.
I mean, I think when
I
she's
feel.
mixing all these medications and all that, I think it's you probably wasn't thinking right. You probably wasn't.
Right, right.
But
That's
regardless, this is what she
so
took a lot of
sad.
these medications or wasn't taking them right, and there's a responsibility for yourself of when you should and how to take these medications. I mean, take 12, 13 medications from October to January. That's insane.
Yes.
That's
The medical
insane.
providers, well, she didn't write herself a prescription. The medical providers did
Listen,
that, and
yeah.
they should have been talking between each other and
They
cared
should've.
and not took a mentally ill woman's word for anything,
Yeah,
honestly.
but here's the thing: she's also a medical professional herself. And listen, September 23rd, 2013 is my sobriety date, and I can tell you,
Congrats.
thank you, my dear, I appreciate that. I can tell you that I knew my doctor. He prescribed me way too much. I knew what to say to get more. And there has to be a responsibility with the patient as well. A lot of people know what to say to get medication.
But she kept saying over and over she was afraid she was becoming addicted. That's why they kept changing the medicines and stuff.
Well, dear, I
That
mean,
doesn't
this is the
sound
thing. If you have a mental disability, that is a lifetime thing. It's
Yes.
it's nothing that you have it. If you have, bipolar, it's just something you're going to live with the rest of your life. Who cares if
Yes.
you're addicted? If you
Well,
need
and
it, that's what it's for.
I think some of the obsession over the being addicted to the medicine was actually like one of her like obsessions or whatever, like compulsive disorder too.
Yep.
I think that was a lot of it.
Mhm.
Um,
I agree with
I
that.
would just hate to see someone that truly needs mental
Mhm.
illness help sitting in a jailhouse.
I think you can get medical care in prison.
But psychiatric mental health, can you get that?
Of course, absolutely. You have a
Oh,
right to
okay.
doctors and
I
psychology,
didn't know that.
and you have
I
a,
didn't know
of course,
that.
yeah, absolutely. She can get her antidepressants and everything in prison. For me, it's again, um, if I am driving recklessly and I have you in the car and
Yes.
we crash and I unalive you because I'm
Yes.
being a dumbass, I'm going to
Vehicular
prison.
manslaughter.
I'm going to
Yeah,
prison.
vehicular manslaughter, not mental illness, unless you were suffering for one.
But even
Uh,
if I was, batshit crazy, um, whether it was I was on a prescription supplement or medication rather, and it wasn't agreeing with me or whatever, and I did it.
yeah,
I did it.
vehicular homicide. I get it. I just don't think she had control of her emotions or her mental faculties at that time. Just like, people like in the nursing homes and stuff that do crazy things that's not your grandpa,
Mhm.
because they're mentally ill. And I think even though she's young and a nurse and had money and all that,
Mhm.
I don't think I think mental illness doesn't discriminate either.
Sure.
I think that she needs just as much help as, say, your grandpa, even though he didn't murder anyone, hopefully.
Right.
You know, like my grandfather, he would talk about, and he loved my grandma. He would talk about like killing her and stuff, right in front of us, and we were like, "What?"
Sure.
No, you don't want to do that. And knowing that they was married like 60 or 70 years,
Mhm. So
loved each other. He would never hurt her.
right, but, I mean, there was a lot of things that happened back then, right? Um,
Hmm.
and, it's, I don't know.
Mental
It's
illness is just I think it needs more research, honestly. I think it
Mhm.
needs more research. I think it needs more awareness. Um, I don't think the people are like throwing off on some of the pink shirt
Mhm.
people going down to the courthouse
Mhm.
and saying they're mentally ill. One, you can't really see mental illness most of the time.
Mhm.
Two, they are just showing their support for something that they're passionate about.
Mhm.
I think they're seeing things like I'm seeing them, and I'm not. Even though people are saying it in chat, that I'm not mentally ill. I'm a professional.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I have compassion. I have empathy. And
Mhm.
it seems like when you support like Lindsay or Travis Decker, which I felt terrible for him, but because I feel like the veterans do not get the help that they need for their mental illness, and they do things such as what he did. That doesn't mean that I did not care for those children or that they're forgotten, because I haven't forgotten them.
Right.
Um, Sometimes that's offensive to me. Sometimes when I see that, um, I think about those little kids every day.
Mhm.
Or not, maybe not every day, but I do
Mhm. Yeah.
I do. I have compassion for
Right.
the elderly, for the mentally
I know you
ill,
do.
the
I know you do.
brokenhearted.
Mhm. I wanna
God is closest to the brokenhearted.
I
That's how I
understand, but
feel.
for the thing is, and I'm gonna, get off here and
Yes,
get the
I
next call,
know.
but,
Sorry, guys.
no, you're fine. The thing is, did she know what she was doing was wrong?
No, I do not think so.
We're gonna have to disagree on that.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to talk to you all day and see if you could sway me, or maybe I could sway you
Right.
into
Yeah.
looking into some of
Yeah.
and listening to some of the interviews of
Mhm.
the women who actually had the psychosis,
Mhm.
and it sounds exactly like Lindsay.
Sure. Sure.
Exactly like her.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I think people should not be as judgmental
Sure.
towards sick people or people who see things differently than you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I love you
understand.
guys. Just
Love
saying,
you too,
people. And I
darling.
love you, Justin. And
Thank you for calling.
thank you. It helped me a lot.
I appreciate you, my love.
I
Thank
hope
you.
I helped somebody anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
I
hope I
appreciate
did.
you disagreeing with me on that. I really do. Thank you.
Okay.
All
Bye,
right, honey.
Justin.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, love. DJ says, stop. A severely mental ill patient cannot make a sound decision regarding of their profession. But severely mentally ill people, it does not automatically mean that they're incapable of making a decision. If that was the case, the jury could have gone. It's whether she knew. The law is, did she know that she was making a wrong decision? Right? She made calls. She discussed her medications with her doctor. She ran errands. She communicated normally. If you're sitting here communicating normally in your daily life, you're making a food order 5 minutes or less, even way less probably, than you unalive your 3 kids. No, not at all. Not at all. Save me with that BS. She comes to the court all cleaned up. Why was she going to 2 different doctors? Why would the fuck was she being prescribed all these medications if she was going to take them, not going to take them, taking them 5 days, taking 3 more pills? Again, I think the doctors shouldn't have been prescribing like this as well. But still, I agree the facts are the facts. Okay, we got a call.
Call from Cindy.
Hello, Miss Cindy. Thank you for calling.
Hey, Justin, I can't believe I got through and I'm actually talking to the real Justin.
Right here I am. Lipstick
Right
and
there.
all.
Well,
What are you doing,
you
girl?
may not be so glad because I kind of disagree with you.
I want some disagreements, actually. So
Well, you got it, girl.
let's go.
All right. Well, here's my deal. I think everybody agrees that she needs to pay for this. I don't think anybody wants her to walk free.
Mm-hmm.
Where I differ is I don't think jail's the appropriate place.
Mm-hmm.
And I was glad to see the judge explain to the jury, number one, that she has to be guilty, she had to have a mental deficit or defect so severe that she could not control herself in accordance with the law. In the other states, you have to know right from wrong.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of the difference here. The way Massachusetts law is written is that you cannot conform to the law.
Mm-hmm.
If she was in psychosis, she probably couldn't at that moment conform to the law.
So,
but I think a lot of people think that if she goes to a mental institution, that she could get out in a couple of years, and that's not the case.
Well,
the judge was explicit that the court had to decide. The court was the deciding factor on when she gets out.
Yes, and
not some friend.
It's generally whenever you're, and again, generally when you are deemed that you are, what's the word?
Like cured.
Well, not, I don't like the word cured, but fully treated as good as,
Right. And not a threat to yourself or anybody else.
Right. Yeah, but I just don't agree. I think she was perfectly capable of ordering food. I think she was perfectly capable. Again, this was 55 minutes. 55 minutes, all of this happened. I mean, how long in this 55 minutes, right? Because you talk to Patrick a couple times, right? You Google how far this restaurant is. You order food, and then after you unalive these kids, you take them down individually, and you come back upstairs. You get the knife, and then you go upstairs, and then you do the thing to yourself. I gotta watch my wording on here.
Right.
There's not that much time, so you can order food. You can sound coherent. You can tell him that it's fine to get the generic medicine or whatever it is.
Yeah, the Marilac.
Yeah, the Miralax. Yeah, and she sounds busy. Well, she was busy. She had do a lot.
Well, yeah.
And I just can't. Within this 55 minutes of time, wrapping these bands around these kids individually, and then keeping your phone at one place, and walking up the stairs.
Right.
I just can't get down with it. I mean, I agree she was struggling. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, she was.
There's no doubt about it that she was struggling.
And I think she was probably a control freak from the very beginning.
I think that is exact. I think sometimes people are such a kind of like a perfectionist, if you will,
right,
that they will almost sabotage. Like it's something. It's just too much. It's too, and again,
right.
It's freaking difficult having 3 kids.
Oh yeah, I've had
You
kids.
know, we've all felt
and I'm
like,
helping raise grands right now.
Yeah.
And it is hard.
Right. No,
It
for
is
me,
overwhelming.
yeah, for me, it's not that I don't think she was not, I think she was absolutely overwhelmed. I think she was taking way too much medicine, but I also think she knew what she was doing was wrong at the time. And Joe says he uses generic Miralax. Thank you for sharing that, Joe.
I'm scared to spray him.
Right. Right. And
yeah, it's tough because nobody knows what was in her mind, and there's no way to know.
No.
And I'm going to be honest. Your analogy with Travis Decker really did kind of speak to me in that I was gung-ho that she was totally needed to be in a mental institution, not jail.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're right. My thoughts with Thomas Decker was put him under the jail.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever let him out.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference to me in my mind is that, because I've spent a couple of days thinking about this since you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference in my mind is that I think we all agree that Thomas Decker did it because there was evidence that he had tried to get back with his wife, and she shot that down. And I think it was a way to get even with her.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a sense of malice there towards her.
Well,
not even as much
Sure.
toward the kids, but
Sure.
towards her.
That's a fair point.
I think
for
it
me-
was the ultimate way to hurt her.
Well, I think situational things in our life can trigger are mental illness, right?
True.
Like,
I think that's true. Yeah.
and I
Completely.
think that, again, he told the kids that he was getting back, I'm getting back with
Right.
mommy. I'm getting back
Right.
with mommy. And the kids told, obviously their mom that. And then mom talked to Travis and she said, "Why did you tell the kids this?" And he apologized and all that.
Right.
And God, I'm trying to remember Travis. I'm trying to think of the mom's name. I can't think of her name right now.
I can't. I was trying to think of it too, and I could not, for the life of me,
But
remember her name.
she was extremely compassionate.
Oh yeah.
To him.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, and he's a veteran. He's a veteran.
Right.
And
And he had mental illness that was untreated. He
yes,
wouldn't treat it.
well, it's not for allegedly, again, the lack of trying. Remember, Travis's ex and the mom, she said that he kept trying, but he just the system failed him.
Right.
So again,
well, back to the being privileged versus
sure,
not being able to afford psychologists or psychiatrists on your own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was living out of his pickup truck, basically, camping.
And
so he didn't have the funds to seek out help. If
Sure.
he couldn't get them through the VA benefits, he had no other alternative.
Mm-hmm. My dear friend, since she says she had 3 kids under 5, her hormones for years were up and down. That with her bipolar diagnosis, PPD, over medicated, it's a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot.
And that's another thing. Why didn't anybody ever test her hormones?
Well, I thought about that. I thought about that as well. And I thought about, like I said earlier, why didn't they do the genetic testing to see what medication might work for her better?
Yes, exactly.
Again, I think that's a failure.
I do too. I think she was failed by her treatment providers. And I don't know.
No, I don't really agree with that, but I think there was some failure there, but I feel like
well, maybe not total failure.
Well, I don't want you to change your opinion because of I said something.
No,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
I do think they should have tested her.
I
I think
agree.
maybe if she had maybe a better doctor, that might have happened.
Well, I mean,
I'm looking at the fact that they failed to test her, especially when she started complaining about symptoms from the medications, why they didn't test her to see what medications would work best on her.
But
it seemed like that
she also didn't give it a lot of time, and she wasn't taking a lot of it properly either. And again, if you don't give it time and you don't take the medication, properly, what do you do?
Well, I know Wellbutrin will cause you not to sleep.
Yes, it certainly will.
And I don't understand why they told her to take 2. That kind of puzzles me. Of course, then they finally told her to just stop taking it. But I mean, that should have been their first clue, is that Wellbutrin does cause insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The whole thing, it's just so stinking sad all the way around on so many levels. And I wanted to ask, am I the only one who looks at that video at the Science Center and sees Patrick totally disengaged?
I think he's a typical man, a typical straight man. That's what
Well,
I'm
I was going to say
thinking.
you wouldn't be like that, but I
You
mean,
know, I
you
think
know,
he's a
I
typical
don't.
straight man. That's what I think he is. But that's just
Well,
me.
maybe, but I'd have been telling my husband, "Get your butt over here and help." You know.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like on the other side,
Yeah,
just
he was. He was.
totally disengaged, which makes me want. Number one, I'm thinking, why did he even bother to go? Because he's no help.
But
And number
I think he
two,
was very supportive to her, though. I mean, he went to get the
well,
food, he went to get the medicine.
yeah, but he also knew that she wanted to kill herself, and she had told him she had had thoughts about harming the kids. Do you think I would leave my spouse with the kids? We'd all pile in the car and go together. Before I left someone with my children that had told me they had ideations of killing themselves and the kids, I would have never left them alone. And
She wasn't
I
telling her
also,
doctors that.
well, now I can almost see her not telling the doctors about
There,
her
let me tell you
thoughts of
something.
harming the
You don't
kids.
ever lie to your doctor, your priest,
This
or
is
the
true.
police.
This is true.
You just
This
don't.
is true.
You can't get help.
But I could appreciate her fear of losing her children. Now, I'm not thinking that that's a founded fear. Don't get me wrong.
No.
It could happen. You don't ever know. And I could see her having that doubt. But then at the same time, if she was having that thought, I'm not so sure I'd want to be around my kids.
Sure.
You know? So, I mean, there you go. You got another conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
But I also heard that Patrick's parents had offered to come, and he told them no. If he knew
I
she
mean,
was having trouble,
but I mean,
why would he have wanted the help?
but I mean, was she? You can tell your partner, your husband, or something, one thing, and then you go on days, weeks, and seem to be fine. You're
Yeah.
going to the doctor. You're going through life. We don't know what someone's dealing with internally. They can, some of
Right.
the happiest people in the room are, they do something later, you know what I mean, unaliving their own
Right.
self.
Right.
And so, you don't really know, you know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
if
And he's not a trained professional. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't know what to look for. He just sees what's on the surface. And if
Sure.
she looks like she's having a good day, he thinks she's having a good day.
Right.
And he may not know that internally she's not.
Right.
It's just sad. It's sad all the way around, and I don't know that there's any right or wrong answer.
Nobody wins. Nobody wins.
I'm just glad I'm not on that jury.
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
Well, how long have they been in deliberating now?
They started Thursday
2
afternoon.
days, Thursday, Friday.
And then they went all day Friday.
The longer it takes them, the better it generally is for her. Because it says that there's some contention, right? And if a jury is not unanimous, it's generally, we can't come to a decision, or someone's says, sorry, I can't agree with that. So if it's a hung jury, if it's something that they just, I don't think anybody should change their conviction, if they can't understand something. So I hope they all, I hate when those juries come back later and they're like, like O.J. Simpson, you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, we knew he was guilty, but, or, we put this person in jail, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't have, don't change your for, if you truly can't live with that resolution, like we should all be able to be open and learn and change our opinions and stuff. But then, it's kind of like your own compass, what you have to live with.
Right. Well, and I think by the time you get to the jury room and you deliberate, it's got to be a real conviction on your part as to what. Maybe conviction wasn't the right
No,
word.
I get it. No, I get it.
Well,
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, either way you go, you have to be convinced that you either do or do not have a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
And you need to stick to whatever your core being is telling you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And not be easily swayed. I'm curious how many holdouts there are, either direction, whichever way it goes. If there's one or two, you might be able to convince them to change their position by going back over the evidence and looking at that again. But if it's split 6-6, you're probably going to end up with a hung jury.
Now,
because you'll never convince 6 people. You can't convince 6 people what we're going to have for lunch.
Sure. I mean, they're in these communities, they're always, creators are always fighting and stuff like that. And I'm like, you get hundreds or tens of thousands of people together, you're going to have a bunch of different opinions. You know what I mean? So,
True.
But in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the jury or the prosecution, Lindsay does not have to prove she was insane. Obviously, the state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she was criminally responsible.
Exactly.
Now, for first degree unaliving by deliberation or premeditation, if you say, the Commonwealth must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Lindsay, number one, caused each child's death. I don't think that's hard to prove.
No, I
in
don't
my
either.
opinion. Now, intent.
Well, she admits it.
Yeah, she admits that. But intent. Now, intent can be a hard thing to prove. But I don't think, in my opinion, it's going to be hard to prove in this case. And 3, that she made the decision after some period of reflection. Right. Deliberate. What do they call it? Deliberate premeditation. So it's we've talked a lot about the mental illness part and stuff, but the prosecution doesn't even have to prove that she was mentally ill, because the law, and this is, I guess, my major point about this. For me, it's not that she was mentally ill or she was struggling. It's that she did the crime. And when you do something like that, we, back, we've just recently started putting, criminals, like this, like in mental hospitals and stuff. And I do agree that there's a place for some people who are, that does crimes. And I just don't think this is one of them, in my opinion, though.
Yeah.
Kelsey says,
well, hopefully next week we'll all know.
Yeah, I hope there's something Monday.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. If it's not, then I'm afraid it's going to be a hung jury.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants a hung jury and start all over again. I don't even think Lindsay wants a hung jury. Because I mean, it's like, I mean, you might be able to prove it to the second jury and stuff like that, but it's it goes to trial again. The prosecutors are going to pump it again. If it goes to a hung jury, they're not going to let 3 people be unalived and just say, okay, well, it's a hung jury now.
Yeah, they'll retry it.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'll let you go and let you get on with the next caller. I appreciate you taking my call.
Of course. Thank you so much for calling in.
I enjoy talking to you.
I appreciate you, my dear. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate your opinion on that.
Well, you have a great evening.
You too, my love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Yeah, it's a very interesting case. Let me show you this. If somebody calls back, then I'll put it back up. But this is what she was talking about just a second ago,
Several
Patrick
minutes.
Clancy.
Yes, I believe so.
And showing, I think we've gone forward to.
Guys, hit the thumbs up, become a member, the Pearl family.
The video timer.
My lipstick cost $6. Oh, for sure they will try again. I hope so bad that they come to the verdict. Me too. Oh, let me make this bigger for you guys. Okay, see, Patrick's there now. Thank you, Eldeb. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Oh, let's cover my face.
Thank you.
It's hard. The whole family was wiped out. As I leave you, as we wait, we wait for the verdict, and the verdict will likely come in at some point next week, right? I'll remind you always, please don't forget to hug the kids, and please, please keep these 3 children in your prayers over the weekend. Cora, Dawson, and Callan.
So the jury, they're not, let's see here. They had to prove that. Never mind. Let me go to Travis here. I'm going to show you Travis Decker. What he was. You remember, just a side note, this is the most handsome sheriff in America.
We recognize that we had a major incident on our hands.
It's been 1 year since a Wenatchee father kidnapped and killed his 3 young daughters and then went on the run. The nationwide search for Travis Decker ended in Chelan County 4 months later.
Kira 7's Brooke Griffin spent hundreds of hours reporting on this case. And 1 year later, investigators are speaking exclusively to her about how they believe Decker died, why it took so long to find him, and what finally led to the location of his remains.
Whitney came to the lobby to report that,
this is an update on Decker.
Hadn't returned home yet.
What started as a possible miscommunication
We get parenting plan disputes kind of routinely in the region.
quickly turned into a case that still hangs over the Wenatchee Valley. Wenatchee police were the first to find out Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker were missing.
He would always bring the girls to their events and always participate and want to spectate at those events. And there were a couple on Saturday that they didn't show up to.
2 days later, Decker's truck was found at the Rock Island campground just outside of Leavenworth, with the sisters' bodies
area.
abandoned nearby.
The very bad outcome has occurred, and the hunt is on.
You're looking at a county that is 2,900 plus square miles, 87% not accessible by road. And we have a limited amount of resources.
That search brought in every agency available.
Essentially requesting a blank check for resources, and they said, you have it, go, whatever you need, ask for it, and you're going to get it.
During the hunt, a dozen teams tried to track down Decker.
We had a 3-day head start on us.
Crews hiked shoulder to shoulder on grid searches, used helicopters and drones, and combed through hundreds of tips, still assuming Decker might be alive.
There were no leads that weren't pursued, including leads overseas.
The treacherous terrain
Damn, I forgot he was only 5'8".
complicated all search efforts.
Because it is rough and it's steep and it's just a billion places to hide.
Intense operations in June yielded no results.
I was just hoping for like a trail camera of him.
In August, a grid search by the FBI almost brought answers.
How close did you get, if at all, to where his remains were actually found?
It was within about an
shorter
acre.
than I imagined.
Yeah. He was just outside of the search zone, up in an area that required more technical safety equipment for searchers to be able to access.
Finally, in September, they got a break in the case.
I'm a forensic and operational psychologist.
Dr. Stacy Chiquette looked at his declining mental health, military background, religious beliefs, and more.
My hypothesis is that while very, very misguided, he did believe that he was protecting his daughters.
She says Decker's love for the girls was evident.
I found
This is his doctor. She says that he thought he was protecting the girls.
many, many documents that he had kept from his children, whether they were letters that the girls had written him, photos they had drawn, so many things that told me he loved his girls so much.
All of this clicking puzzle pieces right into place.
I hypothesized that it was very, very likely that he would want to be able to see them or be in line of sight when he passed away.
Decker's remains were found on Grindstone Mountain, a sheer cliffside less than a mile from where the girls were killed.
I'm guesstimating that there would have been probably that 24 to 48 hour window that I believe he most likely succumbed to hypothermia just based off the conditions, what clothing he was wearing.
It is very mountainous, beautiful. My God, it's beautiful there. And there's snow, like you see, that's in the summertime, and there's snow-capped mountains.
Morrison says the remains were scattered by animals, but DNA testing confirms the bones are a match.
And we don't have any concerns that we have not found him or confirmed his whereabouts.
It was an incredible relief. It was a surge of adrenaline. It was at the same time a very happy moment and an incredibly tragic moment, bringing this to closure.
In Chelan County, Brooke Griffin, Cairo 7 News.
Those law enforcement agencies say the devastating nature of this case is shaping how their department now deals with PTSD among employees.
So tomorrow evening, Brooke will explain what they're doing to strengthen their mental health resources. You can find this story and all of our coverage.
Yeah. Again, they say mental health involved. And listen, I agree a lot of times. I mean, I don't know, I do believe there is a difference in sometimes mental health and just being plain fucking evil. I do believe that there is mental health in both of these stories, but at the same time, a lot of people did not give the grace for Decker as they did Lindsay. And in my opinion, regardless, they both did it. And you got to be held accountable for it. Great, respectful stream, Justin. Oh, you're fine, baby. You're fine. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I don't send emails to my husband when I can send a text at Quincy. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you. You guys are absolutely amazing. I think it's a good conversation to have. I really do appreciate the people who came into the chat and disagreed with me. I think we learn from each other. I really want a place where we can truly learn from each other, even if we don't agree with each other. we can learn from each other. And I think that really, really matters. We've been hit 5 times. We've been hit 5 times by lightning. What do you mean hit 5 times? Oh, thank you, Widow. Thank you, Mama. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, lovies. It's very sweet of you. If you've received one of those pearl necklaces, make sure you give White Widow Baby a big thank you. Thank you, baby. It's good to see you. I really do appreciate you calling in. And, I always say, the people that really like Widow and the people that do disagree with me, I always say you guys are kind of like the purest of heart, because you don't, you have a lot of compassion for Whitney and Travis and all of that, and which is, I think we all can sympathize. Like people who think, for instance, like Jack and Lily are alive, or Sebastian is alive. Again, I think you guys are really the best. You're not as maybe jaded as I am. You think a lot of times it's like someone just could, because you put yourself in their shoes, but you're a much better person than probably, well, you are than in my opinion, Chris and Katie, or Don and Candace, or whatever, because you just can't fathom hurting a child. But unfortunately, people do it every single day. Empath, yeah. And it's not that to say we're not, empathetic or anything. For me, it boils down to, if you did it, you did it. Whether that is, you were, if you were high on math and you were out of your mind, you still did it. If you were, taking medications incorrectly, you still did it. If you're just fucking evil, you still did it. So that's kind of where I stand on it. You know what I mean? But thank you, Widow. Appreciate you, Mama. Very sweet of you. I do appreciate you. This chair is killing my back. Hopefully I'll be in my studio tomorrow, but I want to thank you guys for joining me. You guys are absolutely amazing. Monday, hopefully we'll have a verdict. Tomorrow, I'm going to be trying to do 2 live streams. I should be hopefully live earlier tomorrow, 4, 5-ish, maybe 6-ish. And then we'll probably be doing a later stream tomorrow as well. But I'll be live by, my goal is 6 o'clock tomorrow Eastern, to be live then, and then a later stream tomorrow as well. Why are you in the corner? I've been in the corner since 1976, Pinky. Just the way it works for me. Monday, I go back to the dentist, and so it'll be probably a little bit later Monday for me, if they do my procedure Monday. If not, they don't. If they don't do my procedure Monday, then they're going to do it Tuesday. But I still have to go back Monday. So yeah. Summer Breeze, hi Justin. I hope you saw my second super chat. Excellent live. Did I not say anything, Summer Breeze? Yeah, I did. I seen it. Yeah, I marked it. Well done, Justin. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you very much, Summer Breeze. Appreciate you. Kinchi, thank you for the flower. It smells beautiful, my love. Thank you very much. Dentist. Yeah, they have to do, which I have a piece of a fragment of metal in my implant that broke off. It is not supposed to do that at all. So I should have maybe I'll take a picture of my x-ray. I should have took a picture the other day so I could show you guys. I have a fragment of metal up here, and they got to take it out. And I don't know. So they gave you an inferior dental block, so you'll be numb for 3 hours. Yeah. Oh, it is painful. It's got infected. Thank you, Pinky. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Thank you, Pinky. Hope to have more call-ins tonight. It was very informative. Yeah, I'll do more call-ins. Yeah. Am I in the hospital? No, I'm not in the hospital. No. I took a picture of my knee x-ray and 4 screws. Well, it's not supposed to do that. I could probably get an attorney, actually. It's not supposed to do that. A chip of metal is not supposed to come off. It kind of makes me scared, to be quite honest with you, them doing it again. But they got to take it out, and I think I have to wait 3 months now. Timeout room, no. Justin put himself in the corner for being late the other night, right? I want some chips of potato, or do you want some potato chips? I'd be scared to go back. You like the call-ins? I'll do some call-ins. Some people either like them or they don't. So we'll see. Yeah. I want to eventually I want to get all new veneers on my bottom teeth too. I want like the porn star white, like the Hollywood white, like the Snow White, that they look absolutely fake. You enjoyed the call-ins? Yeah. But I'll do it eventually when I get the money. Me too. You guys like it? Okay, good. All right, guys. Take good care of yourself. I do appreciate you. You only get so many trips around the sun, and I might go live in time if they do when they come back with the verdict. You got veneers. Yeah, I have them on the top. I don't have them on the bottom though. Now your teeth are beautiful. I want the like really, like the Snow White ones. You're rich, love you. No, it's called finance, baby. Financed everything. All right, guys. Hype. Thank you, Cindy. You're always so good at telling people that. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Much love, everyone. Take good care of yourselves. Really do appreciate you. See you guys, Lord willing, tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. Easternish. Porcelain teeth are beautiful. I have them. Perks of the trade. Deb, you're in the dental field. Girl, I'm coming to freaking Australia. It's so amazing. In America, dental is fucking ridiculous. It is ridiculous here. Thank you, Kimberly. Appreciate it. Like Jack Nicholson's teeth. Please don't. Oh, God. my natural teeth. These two teeth, I have buck teeth. And I kind of miss my buck teeth. Like Madonna, I got the buck teeth. And I hated them. It was good. Now, I look back and I see someone having buck teeth, and I'm like, I kind of like it. She had some screw in teeth. That's what I have. I have 2. It's ridiculous, though. All right, guys. Love you all. Good night, everyone. God bless.